Welcome to Tired Mommy Revival. Hey mama, are you running on coffee fumes? Feeling like brain fog, fatigue, and anxiety are running the show? Do you wake up dreading the day ahead, already overwhelmed by the endless to-do list and unsure how you'll make it through? Do you long for the energy to enjoy motherhood and care for yourself, but feel stuck and unsure where to start? Let me remind you of something life-changing. You were created for more energy, more clarity, more joy. Hi, I'm Jerusha, certified holistic wellness coach, wife and mom to 2 wild boys and 1 baby girl in heaven. I know the exhaustion you're feeling because I've been there, barely making it through the day, relying on coffee and chocolate to survive, and wondering why nothing I tried ever made me feel better. Then, God stepped in and revealed a powerful truth. A woman's body is beautifully and uniquely designed to thrive. When we align with how God created us, we can boost our energy, bust through fatigue, and step into the vibrant, joy-filled life He has for us. Mama, I'm living proof that it's possible. These days, I wake up refreshed, nourish my body with intention, and navigate the chaos of motherhood with patience and peace. Most days. And I want to help you do the same. If you're ready to swap exhaustion for energy, brain fog for clarity, and guilt for grace, you're in the right place. Each week, we'll dive into practical strategies, faith-filled truths, and empowering tools to renew your health, body, soul, and spirit. Are you ready for this? Let's do it, mama. Can you feel it? The air is getting crisp, the evenings come earlier, and all of a sudden, everyone in the house is craving something warm and cozy. I don't know about you, but once the leaves start changing, I get really excited to make all the soups and stews that are so comforting and just the hallmark of fall. But sometimes I get a little excited and I end up making those recipes on days where it's still actually hot. But if you're like me, you can't wait for fall to arrive. And depending on where you're at, it may feel like it's just around the corner, like it does here in Tennessee, or maybe it's already beginning for you. Last week, we talked about how the holidays can turn into one long parade of sugar. Pumpkin spice lattes, pies, cookies, candy bowls. So today, I want to shift the focus from sugar season to more soup season. Because here's the truth. God didn't design this time of year to wear us out with sugar crashes and colds. He designed it to fill us with grounding, nourishing foods that strengthen our bodies for the colder months ahead. And yet, if we're honest, our culture's completely out of rhythm with the seasons. Ice cream is actually more popular in the winter than in summer. We crave warm drinks, but load them with sugar instead of healing herbs and spices. Our immune system takes a hit, but we stock up on processed snacks and drive-through meals that do nothing to strengthen us. And while our stress is at an all-time high, we often reach for fast food instead of the stew that's been simmering all day in the crock pot. It can feel difficult to eat with the season when the season itself is too busy to pay attention to what you're eating, right? But with a little intention, you can start leaning into God's design for health, warmth, and coziness right here in the midst of fall. Because eating with the season isn't about being perfect. It's about partnering with God's natural rhythms. He gives us exactly what we need in every season. Summer foods cool and refresh, which is perfect in the heat of the summer. But as we transition into fall, those foods comfort and strengthen us, and winter foods are meant to sustain us. It's His perfect provision built right into creation. So how do we actually live that out in real life and take advantage of all the wonderful foods that are available to build our health and joy in the midst of the colder seasons? Let's get practical. Picture this. You walk in from a chilly afternoon, juggling bags, homework, and dinner prep. Everyone's hungry, and comfort food sounds like the only thing that'll save the evening. The world says comfort food means drive through burgers or another frozen pizza. But the comfort God designed can come from a pot of soup simmering on the stove, roasted veggies on a sheet pan, or a cozy bowl of chili that fills the house with that warming smell that invites you home after a long day. See, comfort food doesn't have to drain you, it can truly restore you. And when you start paying attention to the foods God naturally provides this time of year, you'll see that He already built in everything your body needs to feel strong and well. Let's talk about some of the core foods that are designed to sustain us in the middle of colder seasons. First is bone broth. It's the base of so many nourishing meals. It's full of minerals, collagen, and amino acids that heal your gut, strengthen your immunity, and calm inflammation. This is huge to feeling healthy and well during the season. Now, I like to make a few big batches of bone broth this time of year and put them away in the freezer so we have them for months ahead. But it doesn't have to be that big of a project. You can literally make this in your slow cooker or your instant pot, and you can do a big batch on the weekend and then use it throughout the week for things like soups or cooking rice in replace of water or just sipping from a mug when you feel chilly. It's like a hug from the inside out. It is winter's version of electrolytes, but even better because you get the benefits of gut health. I really cannot say enough about bone broth. It is incredible for your health. If bone broth has freaked you out before, don't let it scare you. It's really like chicken broth, but with a richer flavor and a little bit silkier texture to it. But it is packed with nutrition that you will never find from a can or container of chicken broth from the store. It is literally incomparable. And you can buy bone broth at the store, but making it at home yourself is easy and inexpensive, and it's really worth investing a little bit of effort to figure out how to do this because once you know how, it's really, truly very easy. But if you need to, go ahead and pick some up at the store and use that as well. It's still going to be 10 times more nourishing for your body than simply chicken or beef broth. Okay, next up is sweet potatoes and winter squash. These are golden because they are slow burning carbs that keep your energy steady instead of spiking and crashing like sugar does. They're rich in vitamin A, which boosts your immune system, and fiber that's great for your digestion. You can roast them with olive oil and cinnamon, mash them like potatoes, or toss roasted cubes into salads and stews. This is one of my favorite ways to do it for the kids who maybe don't like to eat it by themselves, but when I throw it into a stew with lots of other flavors and veggies and things going on in there, they're much more likely to eat them and simply think they're like potatoes. It's a great mom hack. Also, because they're rich in vitamin A, you have to remember that vitamin A is a fat soluble vitamin. And so, if you're eating veggies and you want to benefit from the vitamin A that's going to boost your immune system, you need to have some fat with it too. So, put some butter on those sweet potatoes or the butternut squash and enjoy every minute of that sweet, savory, comforting flavor of fall. Next up is beans or lentils. These are the unsung heroes of fall meals. They're affordable, they're filling, and they're packed with both fiber and protein. They help balance blood sugar and feed healthy gut bacteria, which is huge for both hormone and immune health. We love eating them in tacos, chili, curries, you name it. We are all about the beans and lentils, especially in the winter months, and there are a million different ways you can make them. If your family is not on board with doing a meatless meal, then try using half of the ground beef that you would normally use in a meal and subbing in some beans or lentils in addition. It will help your budget stretch further and it'll be good for your gut health too. Then there are leafy greens and cruciferous veggies, the ones we usually overlook once summer salads are gone. But these are your detox and antioxidant powerhouses, and this is the time of year where they're actually in season. But more than that, they build your immune system and support your liver, which is super important in a season of indulgence. And here's the trick that makes them family friendly: chop them small. It's so simple, my friends. It's so simple, but it makes a huge, huge difference. You can add kale, collards, or spinach into soups, casseroles, and pasta dishes. And if they're chopped up small, they will blend right in instead of being stringy, wilty greens that people want to pick out of their food, kids and adults alike. So take advantage of all those dark leafy greens and the cruciferous veggies that are the superstars of your health in this season. If you are thinking, I don't even have the slightest clue what I would add kale to, even if it was chopped up really small, I don't even know where this belongs. I have recipes on my Pinterest boards. I've got a crock pot meals board. I've got healing soups and stews. And there are some incredible recipes on there that sneak veggies in and pack tons of nutrition into one comforting bowl. So go check out those boards if you want some inspiration. But honestly, once you start to realize how easy this is, you will take your regular recipes and start finding sneaky little ways to just throw some greens in there. Even if they're not the star of the meal, when you chop them up small, they lose a lot of volume and you'll find that they're really easy to sneak in a lot of different places. And every time you do, you're boosting your family's health in the middle of flu season when they need it most. And you get all that nutrition without anyone saying, ew, greens. Now, before we move on, I want to pause and recognize that you might be agreeing and nodding along and thinking, yes, okay, I get it. All of these things are really healthy for me. But sometimes it's so easy to get caught up in thinking of healthy eating as another task on our list. Instead, we need to think of it as a rhythm, an act of alignment with how God designed your body and the world around you. Eating healthy can feel like work, but you have to remember to think smarter, not harder. Figure out how to layer these things into one simple recipe and make sure you plan ahead so that you can have your crock pot ready to go and it's doing all the hard work for you. So you can come home from a long day with the gift of nourishing, warming, comforting food in a bowl that's ready for you without all the work of standing over the stove or slaving in the kitchen for hours. And the good thing is that a lot of these things can be layered into one recipe, one meal. Making soups and stews, you can incorporate bone broth, some sweet potatoes or squash, beans or lentils, and cruciferous veggies all into one pot. And we're going to talk about some extra flavor to add in that will boost your health even more, but you don't have to be making all these separate things. The really beautiful part about fall meals, those comforting soups and stews, is that you're actually bringing all of these things together into one beautiful recipe. And some of the spices and herbs are really what helps set them apart as far as flavor and feeling like you're getting a variety of foods instead of just eating the same thing all the time. Now, let's talk about adding some flavor because this is where the fun begins. The spices that make everything taste like fall, ginger, turmeric, cinnamon, and lemon, they don't just add warmth and comfort, they actually heal. Ginger warms the body, boosts circulation, eases nausea if you're not feeling well, and helps with digestion in a huge way. Turmeric calms inflammation and supports your joints. Cinnamon stabilizes blood sugar and satisfies those sweet cravings. And lemon helps detox the body and provides vitamin C when colds are going around. That is just touching the surface of what these spices can really do. They are serious powerhouses in the season and they are worthy of putting into every meal that you can possibly incorporate them into. It's like God built his medicine cabinet right into our spice racks. Again, some of these soups and stews that are comforting and warming, or even the curries, and already incorporating many of these as well, in addition to things like onion, garlic, rosemary, thyme, things that are going to boost your health even more. If you don't believe me, make sure to go check out my recipe boards on Pinterest because I promise there will be some really amazing inspiration on there for all kinds of recipes that you can just throw all of these together in one pot. You will be amazed at the flavor you can accomplish, and you'll be building your family's health every step of the way. And speaking of a cozy flavor, let's talk about my favorite part of fall: drinks that heal instead of hurt. You know those quiet moments after the kids are in bed, the house finally settles, and your body's whispering, "You deserve a treat." That's when sugar tends to call the loudest. But instead of dessert, I love to wind down with one of these cozy drinks that feel indulgent but actually heal my body too. First up is hot chocolate, one of my favorite winter drinks. And I know you're thinking, hold up, there's nothing healthy about hot chocolate. But here's the thing: most cocoa powders are processed at high heat, which is a shame because raw cacao powder is packed with antioxidants that boost your immune system. I love to whisk raw cacao powder in with almond milk or coconut milk with some cinnamon, a pinch of turmeric, vanilla, and then a touch of honey or stevia. It's creamy, rich, and totally satisfying without the sugar crash. I'm telling you, hot chocolate can be a health drink, but if you're buying those little packets or pre-made mix at the store, they're not going to do anything for your health. First of all, they're packed with sugar, and second of all, they have already been destroyed of any antioxidants that originally came from the plant. At our house, we make our own hot cocoa mix, and my kids' mix still does have some sugar in it. Sometimes I'll use like coconut sugar instead of regular sugar, but I make sure that I'm buying that raw cacao powder, which is still chocolatey and amazing, but I know that they're actually getting antioxidants in that cup as well, even if they are drinking some sugar along with it. But my body is a little more sensitive to sugar, and especially when I'm drinking it at night is like the worst time to be consuming sugar. It messes with your healing process overnight, your digestion, inflammation, all kinds of things. And so when I'm enjoying my hot cocoa, I like to give it some of those extra little health boosts like the cinnamon and the turmeric. And it's perfectly sweet with some stevia. I'm not getting any of that sugar crash. And the coconut milk especially makes it so creamy and decadent. All right, my next favorite holiday drink, especially to enjoy at night as an indulgent treat, is called golden milk, sometimes called a golden milk latte, though there's no coffee involved. There's no caffeine at all. It's coconut milk simmered with fresh ginger, turmeric, a little bit of black pepper, which is unnoticeable, and cinnamon, and then lightly sweetened and finished with vanilla. It's anti-inflammatory, calming, and honestly, the perfect nighttime drink before bed. Now, there are a lot of pre-made powders out there on the market, and you can make golden milk latte even at home yourself with your own spices. But when you use fresh ingredients, it takes this drink to another level. Now, the star of this drink is really the turmeric. And it's really well paired with the ginger, the cinnamon, and the vanilla to make it both full of spice and sweetness. But there's two things here that really matter about absorbing turmeric. And first off is coconut milk from a can. And that's because it's going to have those healthy fats in there that are going to help you absorb the turmeric better. And the black pepper is important here too. Now, you thinking like, I don't want to drink a cup that has pepper in it, like gross. But what you do is you actually buy whole peppercorns. You put a couple into the milk that's simmering with the cinnamon and the ginger and the turmeric, And then you take all those things out, add in your vanilla and your stevia, and then it's ready to go. It is so, so, so delicious and comforting and indulging. And it is such a wonderful treat to enjoy at the end of the day when you're tired and you want something comforting but also nourishing that's not going to throw your body into a cycle of inflammation, not sleeping well, and feeling even more exhausted. I love this drink because it loves you back. Okay, now let's talk about something maybe a little less indulgent, but also super delicious, which is tea. Now, there's different types of tea. There's the tea that you make from tea leaves, but then there's also tea that you make from simply steeping herbs and spices in water. And one of my favorite winter drinks is cinnamon tea. If you've never had cinnamon tea before or even heard of it, you might be surprised, but you get this deep brown, naturally sweet and rich tea that also helps you balance blood sugar and it helps reduce inflammation too. It's excellent for your immune system. Cinnamon is good for you in so many ways. The key is to find really good quality cinnamon sticks so it doesn't end up feeling watered down and bland. And when you boil it, you want to make sure that you cover the pot so those oils stay in the water and they don't evaporate out. It is a little bit time consuming because you have to let it simmer on the stove for at least 30 minutes. You want to look for the cinnamon sticks to actually start to uncurl and to look for that deep, rich brown. And then how long you cook it past that, it just depends on how spicy you like it or not. It'll start to be sweet, but then the longer you cook it, it will start to eventually get to be like a spicy cinnamon. So if you like that, keep going. I like to kind of get it started when we're starting the kids' bedtime routine. And then that way, by the time they're in bed, we have a hot cup of cinnamon tea waiting for us on the stove. And it is sweet all by itself and so delicious and comforting. But if you want to, you can also add a little bit of honey. Just be careful not to dump sugar in there because it's going to counter all the beneficial effects that cinnamon is offering your body. Another favorite tea that I love that is incredible for your health is simply ginger lemon tea. And this is one of my favorite teas to actually drink kind of in the middle of the day, but you could drink it at night too. Why I love this in the middle of the day is because one, it's a little quicker to make, and two, it's very refreshing. It's a great pick me up in the middle of the day, like afternoon when I kind of just need that little boost, especially when it's super cold outside. I feel all warm and cozy, but the ginger kind of awakens you and it does so many good things for your health. So it's really easy. All you have to do is boil water and pour it over sliced ginger. Cover the cup with a plate for about 15 minutes and then take the ginger out, add a squeeze of fresh lemon and a little bit of honey, and then sip on every delightful drop. It is like a cup of sunshine. Now, if you listened to my episode a little while back about electrolytes, you know what a huge fan I am of lemon, and that lemon is a natural electrolyte. But lemon is incredible in so many ways. And when it's warmed, it actually releases extra antioxidants and does so many good things for you. So in the summer, I squeeze lemon in my water or my electrolytes all the time. But in the winter, I drink it warmed with honey and ginger and get even more benefits from it. Plus, the ginger is going to support digestion and strengthen your immune system. And if you're sick, that ginger will also help clear congestion, and the vitamin C from the lemon will help boost your health as well. I drink this almost every day in the winter. It's like sunshine in a cup. It is fresh and vibrant and warming all at the same time. Now, if you would like some of these recipes, I am actually coming out with a resource for you soon. I'll announce it in our upcoming episode, but I'm going to have a resource that will provide you with all of these recipes if you want them. If you're interested, what you can do right now is actually email me at jerusha@chavawellness.com with the subject line, "Send me your winter drink recipes," and I'll make sure that when that resource comes out, you will be one of the first ones to receive it. You can also find this information in the show notes below for your reference. What I love most about incorporating these healthy, vibrant foods into your life is that there's really a lot of diversity in how you can do this. From starting your day with having the crock pot turned on so that you have warming foods to come home to at the end of a long, cold, busy day that's nourishing and immune boosting, to having tea in the middle of day or enjoying healthy hot chocolate at night. There's so many ways to bring in these healthy things and simply incorporate them into your everyday rhythms. It's not about doing more and adding more to your workload and more to your week when you're already running on empty. It's about being intentional with what's already in front of you. You can cook your grains like rice in bone broth instead of water. You can add chopped greens to any meal for an antioxidant boost. You can roast a sheet pan of veggies once a week and easily add them to any meal. And you can keep a cozy drink routine in the evenings. It replaces the sugar habit with something that actually restores you. These are small, faithful steps that build long-term wellness and sustain you in the midst of a busy holiday season. Because mama, comfort food was never meant to weigh you down. God's design for the season is comfort that restores, nourishes, and brings peace to your body and your home. The same God who provided manna in the desert provides everything we need now. Foods that warm and heal and strengthen us to do the work He's called us to do, even when that's showing up for our families day in and day out. So tonight, as the weather cools and the candles glow, choose one simple shift. Maybe it's soup instead of takeout. Maybe it's ginger tea instead of dessert. Every no to what drains you is a yes to long-term energy and health. And it's all about creating balance in this season, creating some boundaries around the sugar and creating some intentions around the foods that nourish. And remember, you don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to keep showing up in the season God has you in. And if you're ready to take this conversation from inspiration to real life, don't forget to check out my Pinterest boards. You'll find healing soups and stews, crock pot meals, and family-friendly dinners that make eating with the season both simple and delicious. These recipes help you pack veggies, greens, beans, and lentils and bone broth all into one nourishing pot. Plus, most of them are crockpot friendly, so you can prep your ingredients the night before, set your crockpot in the base in the morning, and come home to real comfort food after a long day of running around. You'll find the link to all of these boards in the show notes. I hope that this episode inspired you and refreshed you in this season and left you feeling like it is possible and sustainable to steward your health in the midst of busyness and sports and activities and church meetings and holidays that are just around the corner. If you get into a really good rhythm right now, you will set yourself up for so much success over the next couple months as they get even busier. More is demanded on you, and sugar is present around every corner. But you got this, mama, because you were made for wellness. Mama, I hope this episode blessed you and reminded you that you were beautifully and uniquely made to thrive. If today's conversation spoke to your heart, I'd love for you to take a moment to leave a rating and review. Not only does it encourage me, but it helps more tired mamas discover the hope, healing, and energy they've been searching for. You're not in this alone. Make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Together, we'll reclaim your energy, renew your health, and revive your spirit, one step at a time. Until next time, remember, you are beautifully designed by God to live with energy, clarity, and joy. You're not just surviving, mama. You're stepping into the vibrant life you were created for. I'm cheering you on.